Gerry
Yeah, we
Hertneck.
played Grandmaster Hertneck from Germany here in Munchen, and Mephisto Cup.
So this is in Munchen, 1985,
Yes,
right?
it was a very important Open, and the winner of this Open had a very good chance to win finally, the complete Mephisto Cup. It was a string of 6 tournaments organized in Germany in that time, and the Munchen the tournament was the most important of them all. So if I could win this Open tournament, it was a very big chance to win the Mephisto Cup. So I won the tournament, I won the Mephisto Cup, and we won a very beautiful game in our game here. We'll see.
All right, nice.
So, okay, after knight f6, c4, we played our Benoni with black, and after d5, d6, knight c3, g6, e4, bishop g7, knight f3, castle, bishop e2. And now I played something else. I mean, e5 is okay, it's good for black, but it's different. The normal Benoni is e6.
Yes.
I played against Hertneck in a few other games before, some other games we had, e6, and it was always very complicated. I won all of these games, but I wanted to see something new, so okay, I played e5. Now the difference after e5 is that you don't open immediately the game. We have some kind of normal King's Indian with black, transposed from Benoni in King's Indian, and the idea is completely different. Now we don't play like in any other position from Benoni, e takes d5, rook e8, and so on. You have another plan, we'll see that during the game. Well known, of course, castle, and now quickly knight e8. After knight e8, we threaten immediately f5. If we arrive to play f5, black already has a good game, a normal game. No problem at all for black, you see. So knight e1, theory, f5, knight d3, and now knight bd7, f3. Instead of f3, the alternative was f4, very complicated after f4, but it's not clear who is better, you see. So f3 is another plan. White is waiting. He tries to play on the other side, as usual in this kind of position in King's Indian. The idea for white is to prepare b4 in one moment, b2, b4, counterplay on the queen side. Okay, theory, I told you. So black closes the position. He tries to come quickly on the king side. Now the plans are very clear. Black tries to do something on the king side against the white king. White, as always, prepares his play on the queen side with b4. The idea is b4. Okay. Rook b1, h5. Everything is very well known, you see. And b4. b4 is not so good, in my opinion. It was better to prepare first with a3. But if you have time to come quickly and you can do something on the queen side, it's better because we win a tempo with b4 immediately, no? And now the first surprise, black took in b4 instead of playing the normal move b6. The normal move is b6, normal game, you see. But after c takes b4, that shows that black wants more than equality. Black wants to try to play for win, even on the queen side, later on, not immediately, but later on, having control on the black squares on the queen side. So we'll see, later on it's very clear, We took in b4, he took with the rook. Now
g5.
g5, okay. So after g5, he continues his idea on the other side, a4, rook f6. If we have time, we'll try to control the square d6 and push the rook on g6, preparing g4. This is the idea for black, you see. Right. Okay, bishop a3, a5. Okay, the first very important moment, a5. Very good move, strategically, because now we control completely the queen side. It's important because white can't do something very quickly there, but it's very difficult to break through now with black, you see. The position is even. How can you control later on the game? I mean, to open completely for you.
You mean that you cannot push
it's
b5?
close. The position is close for white and for black. Normally the position is even. Now, there are some small moments where maybe you have a small chance to open the game. We'll see during the game.
On the queen side, you mean?
Well, everywhere. Everywhere. White now is clear that white understood the situation and he tries to keep the position close and have a normal game. I mean, an even game. He hopes to make a draw here, later on. Not immediately, but the idea is to, to keep the position close. Okay, so now after b6, knight f2, he controls the square g4,
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Nothing happens in a 2-3 moves like this. Okay, rook g6. So now he plays himself g4. Now, if you take in g3, it's not so good. If you take in g3, you lose control on the central squares on the king side. You don't have any good chance to try to win. It's the advantage, if you still have a small advantage, is too small. So now you have to take in g4. Now he takes back with the pawn, and he managed to close the position on the king side also, So for the moment, the position is closed on the king side, closed on the queen side. How to win? Black has to try to win, you see. The small edge is very clear because of the pawn structure, you see. White has some small weaknesses everywhere. The pawn structure is more compact for black. It's clear that black is better, but maybe it's not enough. So White tried to keep the balance, you see. He waits. Okay, so king, rook h6, rook h1, bishop e7. Well, for the moment, everything is clear. He wanted maybe in one moment to play h4. We control the square h4 many times. It's impossible to do something, but we have to do something on the other side later on, you see. The idea, the big difference between Benoni and King's Indian here in this position is that for the moment, our black bishop, for the moment, is closed, doesn't play too much, In Benoni, as you remember, the big diagonal was open and we could play freely with our bishop from g7. Now we have to do something to open the position for our bishop later on, you see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we take control of the central square on the queen side, the square c5 later on. We put a knight there, very nice.
So now you focus on the queen side.
Trying to open only there because it's the only possibility. If we can open the game, we can do it only on the queen side, you see.
So right now here you cannot do much more.
No, there we don't have anything. We are better, but we don't have something because we can't attack anymore, you see. In one moment he can even play h3 and everything is protected, The knight from f2 protects the pawn from h3. You can't win. You see, we can't open. Yeah. So we have to try to open on the other side. But how? Okay. So knight a6, king d2. He's waiting, I told you. He's a little bit worse, but he's waiting. So now c5. And now bishop f6. So he closed completely the king side, and he's waiting. So now bishop d7. And h3, okay. So he is inviting you to see how to do something.
To show your hand.
Yeah, so now king f7, knight b5. Okay, rook c8. We did everything with black, We prepared everything very nicely. But now, if possible, we have to show our idea, how we understand to play for a win here, see? So king g7, everything is controlled on the black squares, you see. And from now on, we have to try to do something. So we took in b5, very important. The first important moment, he took back with the rook. If he took back with the pawns, a4 or c4, the position was already a little bit more open, you see. So he took with the rook to close completely, you see. Okay.
And maybe to keep also this weakness also here.
Yeah, well, the weakness is not real, Even if you lose the pawn on the queen side, nothing happens, you see. He can never win. Only black can play for a win here, but maybe it's not enough. That is his hope, that maybe the advantage from black is too small. But after rook b1, again rook d8, bishop d8, very important. We control the square b6. We'll see why it's important, because we prepared the idea on the black squares, sacrificing for one or two moves, one pawn. Later on, we take back the pawn and we have clear advantage. So after bishop d8, rook b5, now the second moment, okay, knight b4. Now everything is forced. you have to take the pawn. I mean, we took, rook takes. And now...
But this idea you played also in an earlier, in another
game. Yes, it's very well known, but we have to know where to do it, and how to do it.
Yes.
And against whom also, you see. So, okay, now everything is clear. The position is not so complicated, but advantage for black is very clear, because now we open completely the game, and we have the control on the C file. At least we have something very clear for black, you see. And our black bishop is much stronger than his bishop from f3. The bishop from f3 is, for the moment, is like a pawn. He doesn't have any play, you see. So we took back our pawn. He doesn't agree to come to such a position where we have everything and has nothing. So at least he has a queen, and he prepares some trap against our queen. He hopes, it's his hope, okay. We accept the challenge, we play knight c5, normal move, rook c1, and we took in a4, rook a1, and now queen back in d4 with check.
But here actually
he could try after queen, when I
trap your queen.
There, he could try to trap our queen, okay. Rook b4, and now if we accept the challenge, we play a small blunder, rook, queen a5. Now he has time to play rook a1, but after rook a1, he loses immediately. After rook a1, knight b3 check, big surprise, and he can resign. He can't take back with the bishop, with the rook, because he's pinned. He has to take back with the queen, and now he loses the rook, and now everything is clear.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play this, but he didn't play. He played first some other rook. So now here he played rook a1, and now we have time to play queen d4 check. Well, this was our plan. The pawn from b6 is protected, and we have completely the position. Now the position is completely winning for black, you see. In a few moves. Rook a7 check, okay. King g8. So what to do? He has to attack the pawn, no? And now rook h7. Extra move. Now he has to go back, because now if he took in h7, we took in h7, he has no time to take in d4 because he loses the rook after knight b3 check. So has to move back the rook in a1. But now everything is clear. We have control everywhere with our rooks. The bishop is very strong, and we play d3. We give the pawn for the moment, but in the meantime we come immediately with the bishop on the diagonal, like always. The big diagonal from f6. If we arrive with the bishop in f6, the game is over, So bishop g2, he couldn't take immediately in d3 because he could lose the pawn in h3, completely winning position for black. So bishop g2 gives the move, but it's decisive move now. Bishop f6 has to play only in a3. It was always some threat later on with the bishop c3 check, and knight takes e4 check, and terrible position for white, So now knight a6. Now again, terrible move because everything is forced. We attack the rook. You can't take in a6 because of bishop c3 check. So game continuation is forced. He has to take in b6. Now we give check there. He can't take the pawn in d3 because he loses at least a piece. With rook takes f2 immediately. So king e1, the only move. And after bishop d4, everything is clear. He has to take there. We took in f1, f2 check. King f1, and now, look, from such a close position, look at the result. Rook b7 threatening mate in 1. We threatening mate in 1. The king is hopeless. The bishop is hopeless. The control on the a file gives nothing. Black has completely winning position. White resigned here.
Yes. Nice.
Very nice game. Almost. And okay, I won the game. I won the tournament from Munchen, and I won the Mephisto Cup.
The Mephisto Cup?
Yes.
Beautiful. But here, if he tries a check here...
Okay, we move the king. Because we have control. We have control on the a. No, it's impossible because we have the bishop from f2.
Yes.
Controlling, And we it's also the main threat is mate in one, in D1. Yeah. Even if it's not mate, the position is terrible because we move the bishop. Yeah, very funny game. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, beautiful.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Yeah.